The planet Zareen glowed beneath twin suns, its surface a mixture of jagged cliffs and sprawling crystal plains. From orbit it looked like a jewel in the emptiness of space. On this world, the Kailari had ruled for thousands of cycles, their civilization unmatched in strength, intelligence, and technological skill. Their queen Valyara was legendary, not only for her wisdom but for her prowess in battle. She had led armies across star systems, crushing those who dared challenge her people, and no soldier, alien or human, had ever forced her to hesitate. Yet today, as she sat on her throne within the Crystal Palace, a strange unease weighed on her chest. Her council had gathered, their faces solemn, as they spoke of a new human soldier, one named Ryan Carter. "The human has survived situations that would destroy entire squads of your warriors," said General Kale, his voice steady but tinged with disbelief. "He infiltrated the blockade on the planet Dravos, escaped multiple ambushes, and even outsmarted advanced AI defenses meant to trap him." Queen Valyara's golden eyes narrowed. Humans were clever, yes, but she had always believed their strength was limited. They lacked the raw power and endurance of Kailari warriors. For decades they had been curious, sometimes troublesome, but rarely significant. "Describe him," she said, her voice calm but firm. "Captain Ryan Carter is remarkable," the general continued. "He thinks differently, he adapts. He does not fear impossible odds. Reports say he saved his team during a crisis, negotiating survival in a hostile alien environment without bloodshed." Valyara's hands clenched into fists. She had trained for centuries to control her emotions, yet something about the way her council spoke caused her to pause. She remembered stories of humans, fragile beings who relied on numbers and machines rather than skill. And yet this one human seemed different. When the council finally spoke his name aloud, Ryan Carter, Valyara froze. Her mind went blank and she could not move. Memories of her own youth surfaced unbidden. The first time she had trained alone in the arenas, the first time she had faced failure, and the respect she had secretly felt for warriors who showed courage against impossible odds. She realized with a shock that she felt the same respect for this human. "I will meet him," she said after a long pause. Her voice was soft, almost unrecognizable to her own council. "Arrange for his arrival. I will observe him before any decisions are made." Far from the Kailari Palace, Ryan Carter's small human team navigated the outer edges of Zareen. They were a unit trained for exploration and diplomacy, not war, though all were capable in combat. Their mission was simple: make contact, gather intelligence, and ensure the humans were not perceived as a threat. Ryan stood at the front of the landing craft, scanning the alien terrain. He had faced dangerous worlds before, but Zareen was different. The atmosphere shimmered with energy, and the technology of the Kailari was evident even from afar. Giant crystalline towers rose from the plains, their surfaces reflecting sunlight in dazzling patterns. "Keep your eyes open," Ryan said to his team. "We are guests here, but we must stay alert. We don't know how they will react to us." Behind him, Lieutenant Mara nodded. "Understood. We're ready for anything." Ryan smiled briefly. "I hope we won't need to fight, but if we do it smart." The team exited the craft and stepped onto the planet's surface. The ground was firm but vibrated slightly, a natural energy flowing through the crystals embedded in the plains. Strange luminous plants swayed in patterns that seemed almost intelligent. Ryan inhaled the alien air, noting its sharp metallic scent, but found it breathable. As they moved toward the central city, Kailari guards appeared. Tall, imposing, and armed with advanced weapons, they were an intimidating sight. But they did not attack. Instead, they blocked the team's path and gestured for them to follow. Ryan glanced at his team. "Stay calm. Follow their lead." The guards led them through a maze of crystal streets, the buildings glowing with an internal light. Every corner was clean, every surface polished. Even the air felt controlled, as if the city itself was alive and aware of every step the humans took. Finally, they arrived at the palace. Its doors were massive, carved with intricate designs depicting Kailari history, wars, victories, and the rise of their civilization. As the humans entered, Ryan felt eyes on them from every angle, hidden sensors likely tracking their every move. At the throne room, a silent hush fell. The Kailari Council bowed slightly and the humans instinctively lowered their heads. At the far end of the hall, on a raised platform, sat Queen Valyara. She was more magnificent than Ryan had imagined. Her armor, a blend of metal and crystal, shimmered with every movement. Her posture was regal, commanding attention without needing to speak. Ryan stepped forward, confident but respectful. "I am Captain Ryan Carter, representing humanity. We come in peace, seeking understanding and cooperation." Valyara's eyes studied him closely. She could see his confidence, but also his calm respect. There was no arrogance, no hidden threat. Something in his presence resonated with her in ways she did not understand. "You are bold to enter my palace," she finally said, her voice echoing softly through the chamber. "Most humans would have perished long before this." Ryan inclined his head. "We rely on careful planning and trust in each other. But most importantly, we do not underestimate those we meet, even if they are stronger or faster than us." The Queen remained silent for a moment. Her mind was in turmoil. Humans were always underestimated, but this one, he did not fit any pattern she knew. She remembered the prophecies her people had whispered for generations. A human would arrive, changing the Kaelari's understanding of courage, wisdom, and strength. Until now, she had believed it to be a legend. As the discussion continued, Ryan spoke of humanity's desire to explore and learn rather than conquer. He explained how humans valued intelligence, cooperation, and honor. Valyara listened, captivated. She found herself leaning forward, absorbing every word, realizing that she had never encountered a being quite like this human soldier. Meanwhile, subtle alarms within the palace indicated movements outside. Other alien factions, sensing the unusual human presence, were monitoring Zareen closely. Valyara noted this quietly, issuing orders to her commanders without breaking her gaze from Ryan. She wanted to ensure his safety, even if the council might not agree. Ryan finished his presentation, and for a moment silence filled the hall. Valyara felt the weight of that silence, the tension of the unknown. She realized that her entire people were watching, not just the council, but the soldiers, the citizens, and the factions outside the planet. And in that moment she understood that this human, small and fragile by Kaelari standards, could shift the balance in ways she could not yet predict. Finally, Valyara rose from her throne. The crystal armor gleamed as she walked toward the dais, each step deliberate, controlled, yet filled with curiosity. Ryan remained calm, standing at attention, aware that this encounter could define the relationship between their species. "You have courage, human," she said, her voice steadier now, though it still carried the weight of her awe. "And you have wisdom beyond your kind. That is rare, perhaps more than rare, perhaps unprecedented." Ryan bowed slightly. "I do what is necessary to protect my team and my people. That is all any soldier can do." Valyara studied him for several long moments. Her mind struggled to reconcile the legend of human weakness with the reality of this soldier. She realized that the prophecies were not wrong. This human was indeed special. As part 1 draws to a close, the Queen silently returns to her throne, issuing a command to her council. "Prepare for a reception that is equal parts caution and curiosity. Captain Ryan Carter will remain under observation. He may be the first human to earn our respect, and perhaps something more." Outside, Ryan's team remains unaware of the full impact of their presence. They have completed their first step in alien diplomacy, yet the challenges ahead are unknown. The balance between trust, respect, and potential conflict hangs in the air, shimmering like the crystals of Zareen itself. And in the Queen's chamber, Valyara finally allows herself a moment of wonder, realizing that the human soldier's arrival has stirred something within her that no Kaelari had ever managed to awaken before. The next morning, Zareen's twin suns rose over the crystalline plains, casting long beams of light that fractured across the palace towers. The city seemed alive with energy, the streets bustling with Kaelari citizens, though all eyes were subtly aware of the humans in their midst. Ryan Carter and his team were escorted through the palace corridors, each step echoing softly against the polished floors. Valyara watched them from her observation balcony, invisible to the humans. She could see Ryan's calm composure, the way he moved with quiet confidence, assessing every detail without haste. The Queen felt an unfamiliar stir of respect and curiosity. Humans were small, fragile by Kaelari standards, but he radiated an intelligence and determination she could not ignore. The palace doors opened to a vast chamber, where Valyara had arranged for the humans to meet some of her advisors in a controlled environment. The air shimmered with energy, and Ryan felt the subtle hum of advanced alien technology monitoring the room. He stayed alert yet relaxed, aware that his actions here would shape the Kailari perception of humanity. "You may speak freely," Valyara said from her throne, though her golden eyes never left him. "I wish to understand your intentions, Captain Carter." Ryan bowed slightly. "We come as explorers and observers. Our goal is knowledge, not conquest. We hope to learn about your culture, your technology, and your history, and in return we offer the same in goodwill." A murmur ran through the Kailari advisors. This was unusual. Most humans had been brash, overconfident, or naive. But Ryan's tone held neither arrogance nor weakness. He spoke with clarity, respect, and a sense of moral certainty that few Kailari had encountered. Valyara leaned forward. "You speak as if you understand balance and consequence. Most humans act without regard for others. Why do you differ?" Ryan considered her question. "We learn from experience, Your Majesty. We make mistakes, yes, but we value the lives of those around us. Friends, allies, even those we do not yet know. Strength without wisdom can destroy more than it protects." The Queen was silent. She had never heard a human speak with such conviction. Her mind raced as she recalled the tales of humans in history. Courageous, adaptable, and yes, capable of compassion, even in the direst circumstances. Could this one soldier embody all that she had admired, yet never expected to see firsthand? Outside the palace, subtle alarms flickered across the Kailari defense network. A distant faction, long at odds with the Queen's rule, had detected unusual activity near Zareen. They were watching, waiting for a moment of weakness. Valyara noticed immediately and issued quiet commands to her security teams, directing them to prepare for potential intrusion without alarming the humans. Ryan's team sensed tension but could not discern its source. He remained calm, studying the alien environment, noting defensive patterns and energy flows. He realized that Zareen was more than a city. It was a living network of technology, designed to protect and communicate simultaneously. The first true test came when the faction outside attempted a covert attack on one of the outer energy hubs powering the palace. A burst of light flared on the monitoring screens, indicating a breach. The Kailari guards moved swiftly, but the threat was unpredictable, adaptive. Ryan stepped forward. "Allow me," he said. The Kailari hesitated. Humans rarely intervened directly. But Valyara, sensing his capability, nodded subtly. Using a combination of strategy and quick adaptation, Ryan guided the Kailari forces through a countermeasure protocol. He observed the energy flows, predicted the intruders' patterns, and coordinated defenses that neutralized the threat without major casualties. His team followed his instructions with precision, amazed at how quickly he could interpret alien systems and respond effectively. From her throne, Valyara watched, her pulse quickening. No human, she had believed, could operate so efficiently within Kailari systems. And yet Ryan Carter not only managed the situation, he excelled. The Queen felt a strange mix of awe and unease. Humans were resilient, yes, but this one demonstrated a brilliance that unsettled the very foundation of her expectations. When the threat was contained, silence returned to the palace. The Kailari advisors exchanged glances, astonished by the humans' ingenuity. Valyara stood slowly, her eyes fixed on Ryan. "You have done what no Kailari soldier could accomplish so swiftly," she said. "Your actions today have saved lives, including my own. Tell me, human, what drives you to such bravery?" Ryan considered her question carefully. "Responsibility, Your Majesty. I fight not for glory, not for fear, but for the people around me. I do what I must to protect them and to uphold the values I believe in." Valyara's mind was racing. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, often dismissed as weak, unpredictable, or ill-prepared for interstellar affairs. And yet here was one human who embodied strength, intelligence, and moral clarity. She realized that her understanding of power was incomplete, perhaps even flawed. "Come closer," Valyara commanded, her voice steady but tinged with curiosity. Ryan approached, bowing slightly. The Queen regarded him as one might study a rare artifact, carefully, with awe and with a sense of discovery. "You are unlike any human I have known," she said softly. "You think, adapt, and act with precision, yet there is something more. A quality I cannot name, but one that resonates with the Kailari spirit." Ryan met her gaze. "Perhaps it is simply determination, Your Majesty. The will to do what is right, even when the odds are against us." The queen paused, feeling a stir within her that no Kalari had ever awakened. She remembered the ancient prophecies, whispers that one human would arrive to challenge her understanding of strength and courage. Until now, she had thought them symbolic. But Ryan Carter was real, and he had proven himself in ways words alone could not capture. Over the following days, Ryan and his team explored Zareen under the Queen's cautious observation. He learned about Kalari history, culture, and technology, asking questions that revealed his insight and humility. In return, he shared human knowledge, offering perspectives that intrigued the Kalari Council. The Queen observed every interaction, silently noting how Ryan inspired trust and respect, not just from his team but from her own people. Soldiers who had doubted humanity began to reconsider, seeing the human not as a fragile being but as a capable and honorable ally. Then, another challenge arose. The rival faction launched a more direct attack, targeting the palace itself. Ryan immediately assessed the situation, coordinating defenses with the Kalari commanders. Using a combination of human ingenuity and Kalari technology, he directed forces to intercept the attackers, neutralizing the threat without unnecessary loss of life. Valyara stood at the observation balcony, her armor gleaming, her heart pounding with recognition. Humans, she realized, were more than what Kalari history suggested. They were resilient, clever, and capable of extraordinary acts of courage. And Ryan Carter, this one soldier, was living proof. When the battle subsided, Valyara finally spoke. "Captain Carter, you have proven that humans can be more than allies, perhaps even more than equals. Your actions have changed how I view our place in the galaxy." Ryan bowed, a hint of humility in his expression. "I only do what any human would do if given the opportunity. To protect, to learn, and to respect. That is all." The Queen nodded, understanding that this human represented a new dawn for Kalari-human relations. She had begun the journey of seeing humans not as fragile or inferior, but as beings capable of extraordinary achievement. "Very well," she said. "You and your people may remain on Zareen under my protection. Together we can explore cooperation, understanding, and shared knowledge. The galaxy is vast, and perhaps we can face it side by side." Ryan's eyes widened slightly. This was more than diplomacy. It was a recognition of human potential, the first step toward trust between species. He bowed deeply. "We will honor your trust, Your Majesty. Humanity does not take such opportunities lightly." Valyara returned to her throne, her mind calm for the first time in cycles. The prophecy had come true. An extraordinary human had arrived. She had witnessed courage, wisdom, and morality that rivaled her greatest expectations. In Ryan Carter, she saw the spark of something greater than power alone. She saw potential. As the twin suns set over Zareen, their light reflecting in the crystal towers, Valyara allowed herself a moment of quiet awe. The human soldier had changed everything, not just her perception but the future of her people. And somewhere deep inside she knew that this was only the beginning. For the first time in her life, the alien queen could not simply rely on strength or history. She had to trust, to understand, and to follow where this human soldier might lead. And she found herself eager to see the next step in that journey.